Have you ever wondered why some days your body feels like it's working against you, even when you're eating all the right foods? You know that feeling when you wake up with more aches than usual, or when your digestion seems to have a mind of its own, leaving you uncomfortable and frustrated? Well, my friend, what I'm about to share with you might just change everything you thought you knew about healthy eating after 60. I've been talking with doctors and nutritionists for years now, and there's something they've been quietly discussing among themselves that most seniors never hear about. It turns out that some of the vegetables we've been told are good for us our entire lives can actually work against our bodies once we reach this beautiful stage of life. I know it sounds surprising, maybe even a little unsettling, but stick with me because this information could be the key to feeling more energetic, comfortable, and vibrant than you have in years. You see, our bodies are incredibly wise, but they're also constantly changing. The digestive system that handled everything you threw at it in your 30s and 40s has been through decades of life with you. It's earned some respect, and it deserves to be treated with the gentle care it needs now. Think of it like a treasured cast iron pan that served your family for generations. It still works beautifully, but it needs different care than when it was brand new.
The truth is, there are 3 common vegetables that doctors are now warning seniors to avoid, and I'm going to share each one with you today, along with the delicious alternatives that will actually support your body's changing needs. But first, let me ask you this. Have you noticed that certain foods that never bothered you before now seem to leave you feeling bloated, uncomfortable, or even in pain? You're not imagining things, and you're certainly not alone. Let's start with the first vegetable that might be causing more harm than good in your daily meals: raw spinach. Now, I can almost hear you saying, "But I've been eating spinach salads for years." And I believe you. Spinach has been praised as a superfood for so long that it feels almost wrong to question it. But here's what happens to raw spinach in our bodies after 60 that most people don't realize. Raw spinach contains high levels of something called oxalates. These are natural compounds that combine with calcium in your body. When you're younger, your kidneys typically handle this just fine. But as we age, our kidney function naturally slows down a bit. This means those oxalates can start building up, potentially leading to kidney stones or interfering with your body's ability to absorb the calcium you need for strong bones. Imagine trying to build a house with bricks that keep getting stolen. That's what's happening when oxalates interfere with your calcium absorption.
But here's the beautiful thing about this knowledge. You don't have to give up the nutritional benefits of leafy greens. Instead of raw spinach, try gently steamed spinach, or even better, switch to butter lettuce or arugula for your salads. These greens give you all the vitamins and minerals you're looking for without the oxalate overload. The steaming process actually breaks down most of those troublesome oxalates, making the nutrients more available to your body. Now, the second vegetable that's been causing problems for many seniors might surprise you even more: raw tomatoes. I know. Tomatoes are in everything, and they taste so fresh and vibrant. But here's what's been happening behind the scenes that your doctor might not have mentioned yet. Raw tomatoes are quite acidic, and after 60, many of us develop what's called a more sensitive stomach lining. This isn't a weakness or a failure, it's simply a natural part of aging, like getting wisdom lines around our eyes. When we eat raw tomatoes regularly, especially on an empty stomach, that acid can irritate the stomach lining and contribute to heartburn, acid reflux, or general digestive discomfort. Have you ever noticed that your favorite caprese salad leaves you reaching for antacids later? This might be why. The wonderful news is that cooking tomatoes actually makes them even more nutritious for us. When tomatoes are cooked, their lycopene content increases dramatically. Lycopene is that powerful antioxidant that helps protect our hearts and may even help prevent certain cancers. So instead of raw tomatoes in your salad, try adding sun-dried tomatoes or enjoy them in a warm pasta sauce or soup. Your stomach will thank you, and you'll actually be getting more of the good stuff your body needs. As we continue this conversation, I want you to remember that this isn't about restriction or deprivation. It's about working with your body's wisdom and giving it exactly what it needs to thrive. Think of it as fine-tuning a beautiful instrument that's been playing the song of your life for decades. With just a few small adjustments, we can help it play even more beautifully. Now, let's talk about the third vegetable that's been quietly causing problems for many seniors, and this one might be the most surprising of all: raw broccoli. I can almost see you raising your eyebrows right now, because broccoli has been held up as one of the ultimate health foods for as long as most of us can remember. And you're right, broccoli is incredibly nutritious. But here's what happens when we eat it raw after 60 that makes it less than ideal for our changing bodies. Raw broccoli belongs to a family of vegetables called cruciferous vegetables. And while they're packed with cancer-fighting compounds, they're also quite tough on our digestive systems. Think about it. Have you ever tried to bite into a raw broccoli floret? It's almost like chewing on a tiny tree, isn't it? That's because raw broccoli contains complex sugars and fibers that require a lot of digestive energy to break down. When we're younger, our digestive systems are like powerful engines that can handle this extra work. But after 60, we want to be a little kinder to ourselves. Raw broccoli can cause gas, bloating, and that uncomfortable feeling of food just sitting in your stomach for hours. You might have noticed that after a raw veggie tray at a party, you feel more stuffed and uncomfortable than satisfied. This isn't your imagination, and it's definitely not a personal failing. It's simply your body asking for a little more consideration.
But here's the wonderful thing about broccoli. When you lightly steam it, sauté it, or roast it, you're actually making all those incredible nutrients more available to your body. The gentle cooking process breaks down those tough fibers and makes the vegetables easier to digest, while preserving most of the vitamins and minerals you're seeking. Imagine the difference between trying to read a book in dim light versus having a warm, gentle lamp. The content is the same, but one way is so much easier on your eyes. You might be wondering, so what should I be eating instead? Well, let me share some alternatives that will not only be easier on your digestive system, but might actually give you more energy and vitality than you've felt in years. Instead of raw spinach, try tender butter lettuce, which has a lovely, mild flavor and is much easier to digest. Or consider arugula. It has a delightful peppery taste and is packed with nutrients without the oxalate concerns. If you love the idea of dark leafy greens, try lightly steamed kale or Swiss chard. These become incredibly tender when cooked and have a rich, satisfying flavor that many people find even more appealing than raw spinach. For your tomato needs, embrace the joy of cooked tomatoes. Make a simple pasta sauce with fresh herbs. Try roasted cherry tomatoes that burst with concentrated flavor, or add sun-dried tomatoes to your salads for that tangy richness you love. You'll be amazed at how much more flavorful and satisfying these options can be. And instead of raw broccoli, try lightly steamed broccoli with a drizzle of olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. Or explore other vegetables that are naturally easier to digest. Tender asparagus, green beans, or even zucchini can give you that fresh vegetable satisfaction without the digestive stress. Here's something I want you to consider. Have you ever noticed how much more you enjoy a meal when you feel good after eating it? When your stomach isn't churning or your body isn't fighting to process what you've given it? That's what we're aiming for here. Not just nutrition, but the pleasure and satisfaction that comes from eating in harmony with your body's needs. I remember talking to a friend of mine, Margaret, who's 68 and had been struggling with digestive issues for years. She was doing everything right, eating plenty of raw vegetables, drinking green smoothies, following all the health advice she'd read. But she felt terrible most of the time. When she made these simple switches, cooking her vegetables gently, choosing easier to digest options, she told me it was like getting her life back. She had energy for her grandchildren again, she could enjoy meals without worry, and she felt like herself for the first time in years. That's what I want for you too. Because here's the truth, taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. And part of taking care of yourself means listening to what your body is telling you and making choices that support your well-being.
Now, I want to share with you some additional wisdom that can transform not just what you eat, but how you feel every single day. You see, it's not just about avoiding those 3 vegetables we've talked about. It's about embracing a whole new way of thinking about food that honors where you are in life right now.
One of the most powerful things you can do is start paying attention to how foods make you feel, not just how they taste. I call this becoming a detective of your own body. Keep a simple mental note, or even jot it down if you like, of how you feel an hour or 2 after eating different foods. Do you feel energized and comfortable, or tired and uncomfortable? Your body is constantly giving you feedback, and at this stage of life, we have the wisdom to actually listen to it. Here's something many people don't realize. The way you prepare and eat your food can be just as important as what you choose to eat. Take your time with meals. Chew slowly and thoroughly. I know we live in a fast-paced world, but your digestion will thank you for slowing down. Think of it as giving yourself the gift of mindful eating, something you've probably been too busy to do for most of your life. Another gentle change that can make a world of difference is eating your larger meals earlier in the day. As we age, our digestive systems tend to work more efficiently in the morning and afternoon than late at night. Try having your heartiest meal at lunch and keeping dinner lighter. You might be surprised how much better you sleep when your body isn't working hard to digest a heavy meal while you're trying to rest. And here's a beautiful secret that many seniors discover. Warm foods are often much more satisfying and easier to digest than cold ones. Instead of that cold salad that might leave you feeling unsatisfied, try a warm vegetable soup or a gently sautéed vegetable medley. There's something deeply nourishing about warm food that goes beyond just nutrition. It's comfort, it's care. It's like giving yourself a gentle hug from the inside.
Let me share something that might sound simple, but is actually revolutionary. Eat foods that make you happy. I don't mean abandon all nutritional wisdom, but I do mean that if you're forcing yourself to eat things you dislike because they're healthy, you're missing the point entirely. Food should be one of life's pleasures, not a source of stress or guilt. If you love roasted vegetables more than raw ones, embrace that. If you prefer your vegetables with a little olive oil and herbs rather than plain, that's perfectly wonderful. Your body at 60, 70, 80, and beyond deserves to be treated with the same love and respect you'd give to anyone else you care about deeply. Would you force someone you love to eat foods that make them feel terrible? Of course not. So why would you do that to yourself? I want you to remember that every choice you make about food is an act of self-care. When you choose cooked vegetables over raw ones, you're being kind to your digestive system. When you eat slowly and mindfully, you're giving your body the respect it deserves. When you pay attention to how foods make you feel, you're honoring your own experience and wisdom. The 3 vegetables we've talked about today, raw spinach, raw tomatoes, and raw broccoli, they're not villains. They're simply foods that might not serve your body as well as they once did, and that's okay. Our needs change throughout life, and adapting to those changes isn't a sign of weakness or failure. It's a sign of wisdom and self-awareness.
I hope this conversation has given you not just information, but permission. Permission to listen to your body, permission to make choices that feel good, and permission to trust your own experience over what everyone else says you should be doing. You've lived long enough to know what works for you, and you deserve to honor that knowledge. You know what I'd love to hear from you? In the comments below, share one small change you're going to try based on what we've talked about today. Maybe it's switching from raw spinach to butter lettuce, or trying roasted tomatoes instead of raw ones. Or perhaps it's simply paying more attention to how your food makes you feel. Whatever it is, know that you're taking a step toward feeling better, and that's something to celebrate. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Every person who has lived as long as you have is navigating these same changes, these same discoveries about what their body needs now. We're all learning together, and there's something beautiful about that shared experience.
You spent decades taking care of others, working hard, and putting your needs last. Now it's time to be as kind to yourself as you've been to everyone else. Your body has carried you through so much life, so much joy, so much experience. It deserves your gentleness, your attention, and your care. So here's to you, and to making choices that honor both your body and your spirit. You're never too old to feel vibrant, comfortable, and energetic. You're never too old to make today better than yesterday. And you're certainly never too old to treat yourself with the love and respect you've always deserved. Let's keep going, together, one gentle, caring choice at a time.